Hi there, and welcome back to another episode of ScaleUp Radio, the podcast inspired by the Entrepreneurial ScaleUp System and designed to make navigating our scale-up journeys that little bit easier by learning from others' experiences. And today we're diving into the world of corporate events with Holly Hull, the dynamic founder of Corporate Peaks. From a passion-driven lifestyle business to a trailblazer in the events industry, Corporate Peaks is redefining corporate gatherings with a blend of personalized experiences, community building, and corporate social responsibility through their new venture, CP Conferencing. And Holly shares her journey of growth, her commitment to listening and innovation, and her passion for creating unforgettable events that bring people together. And join us as we explore how Corporate Peaks is not just planning events, but crafting memorable experiences that connect and inspire. So make sure you don't miss any future episodes of ScaleUp Radio by subscribing to us wherever you like to listen to your podcasts. You can also nominate a guest for ScaleUp Radio if you know someone with an interesting scale-up story, and you can find out how in the show notes. So for now, get ready for a journey with Holly, full of insights, inspiration, and the art of meaningful corporate events with Holly Hull. Welcome to another episode of ScaleUp Radio. I'm delighted today to be joined by Holly Hull for about the second time we're trying. So Holly Hull is the Group CEO of Corporate Peaks Group. So Holly, welcome to ScaleUp Radio.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Brilliant. And you're a multiple award winner, really, GBA finalist, winner of the Business Awards UK. So something's going well. So tell us, what is it that Corporate Peaks Group is all about?
There's a few strings to our bow, for sure. We were founded originally as a corporate ski agency. We facilitated corporate ski events across the Alps. It very organically, very naturally grew. And then we started developing our global incentive program. And now we offer AGMs, conferences, meetings, incentives all over the world for businesses of all shapes and sizes.
So you're doing all sorts of corporate events. You started off with the skiing side, but
Exactly.
now you're going further. So what kind of what is it? Is it big corporates? Is it SMEs? What do your clients look like?
We have such a diverse range of clients, and I think rather than focus on the size, the grossing income, the scale of the client at hand, we actually are really all about the personality.
Okay.
The company culture. We work well with people we work well with, and the people that like us. We're a really personable crew. And I think it's really important for us to ensure that our events are done in the best way possible, that we're all on the same page. So for us, like I said, range of sizes, but really all about company culture and ethos.
And what are companies trying to achieve by having a corporate event through you? What sort of things are they looking to achieve?
So there's so many different reasons. Again, how long we got? It can range from something as simple as somebody just wanting a fully hosted trip. So all of our events are fully hosted. And we take absolute pride in this, not only for the fact that many of us within the office are multilingual, but all sorts of problems arise when people land and they're away in a foreign land. So some people are looking directly for it to be hosted. This often, dependent on the type of event, allows the organizer to really focus on their objectives of the trip, whilst we ensure that the kind of, the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. We can deal with the logistics and admin behind the scenes while they can effectively be present. And I think actually that's one of the most attractive things, is the trip organizer is actually present and there and able to engage with their staff whilst we kind of take care of all the things behind the scenes. But yeah, as I said, various different reasons. That's definitely one of them. Another one is, again, going back to how we're a really personable group. It's about maintaining mood and atmosphere a lot of the time as well. A lot of these trips, sometimes they can be really heavy on activities, and in a good way. But also, if people are having a lot of fun and they're tired, it gives us an opportunity to kind of really bring the mood up. And we're all quite energetic, as you can probably tell. I do this a lot. Various different reasons, but I'd say that those two are definitely up there.
Fantastic. And I guess there's quite a lot of other people offering some kind of corporate event. So is it that combination of the fully hosted, the multilingual, the personal service aspect of it that makes you different, or what else would you say is the corporate peaks way of doing things?
I think definitely energetic is a big one. A lot of us here, and obviously everyone within the industry, and everyone knows everyone within the industry. It's a wonderful industry to be in, but definitely everyone within our company is incredibly passionate about making memories. Okay. We're all well-traveled. We've been through a lot, personal things. And I think for us, we stand out because making memories is such a huge part of our lives because of the things that we've gone through, because of the experiences we've had. And everyone is dedicated to ensuring that those memories, everyone comes away like, wow, it's our passion.
Okay, brilliant. Good. And how does the business model work for you? Is it very bespoke? Is everything, the pricing and everything tailored for a particular client with their particular project and needs, or is it a little bit more off the shelf? How does it work for you?
So there's various different ways in which it works. We try very much to separate the conferencing and AGM side because it can be slightly more formal, like a percentage base, as opposed to the incentive or supplier retreat requests that we get a lot of the time. Generally speaking, what will happen is we'll have a consultation call and the client will say, look, this is what I'm looking for, X, Y, Z, and this is the budget I have in mind, whether it's per person or whether it's the total budget. We're pretty honest immediately and transparent because especially with the rising costs of things, if we look in the ski industry, there's lots of non-negotiable costs. We're very honest and transparent about whether that's achievable from the get-go, which I think installs quite a lot of trust in people because we're not going to go, yeah, we can do this, and then go, actually, here's the bill. Yeah. And every single offer that we give it's inclusive of what they've asked for to a degree, if we can do it, and inclusive of our management fee as well, because we have those relationships with suppliers, with partners. It's not an additional cost that's hidden.
Great. And is it a case of a one-off ad hoc event with a client, or do clients come back to you for quarterly meetings, or how does that bit work?
Yeah, again, I think this is the great thing about what we do and our industry is that there's no two event that's generally the same. There's a lot of creativity and individuality with every single event, but certainly all of our clients, this sounds really big-headed, generally, I'm trying to not sound big-headed, 90% of our clients that come with us will return. Right. So it is very return transactional. It just depends on what degree that they want their next event to be, because you have to imagine that, let's look at the recruitment industry, for instance, which is one of our biggest industries that we work with. Okay. They are very incentive focused to really push on the 3 R's, rewards, recognition, and retention. Okay. So they'll set targets or sales targets that need to be hit. And if you hit said target, then you get to go away on this wonderful, exciting incentive, trip. And it's a really great way of motivating productivity within the workforce. Yeah. They will also hold annual AGMs. So that's another thing that then we would naturally take care of. A lot of the time people will choose to start doing their incentives with us, unless it's with our other company, CP Conferencing, which is very different entirely. They'll start to incentives and then it will snowball into that natural progression of us taking care of their event calendar.
Okay. Yeah, very good. So what's been your favorite, what sticks out in your mind as being the favorite thing you've organized for a client?
That's such a difficult question.
Yeah. I'm sat here in rainy England. I know you're in the Alps, and
Yeah.
I'm looking for a little bit of inspiration
Excitement.
here as to and help me imagine that I'm somewhere at some special event. So what's the favorite one that you've run for somebody?
I mean, for me, because I'm based here, I'm slightly biased, and I love running ski events.
Yeah.
This year has been really, really lovely because people have gone less from the crazy culture of, like it's particularly post-COVID. There was a lot of return to incentives and party, and it was very manic, actually, not just with us, across the board in terms of the incentive programs. This year, I've really enjoyed adding in extra surprises, going up the mountains, skidoo rides, piste basher dinners, torchlit descents, company races, ski races. Yeah. So there's no one that really stands out. It's just been a really lovely development and return, like I keep mentioning, to that creativity level. Yeah. I know that I love to run my summer trips and yachting trips because they're just really nice and relaxed. But I really enjoy a diverse program, for sure.
Great. And as the business founder and owner of this, do you get to go on all of these trips, or
a lot of the time? Yeah. Well, do you know what? Last year I didn't get to. We kind of had such a surge in the return post-COVID of incentive travel that we had a lot of team members, and I really knuckled down behind the scenes to try and drive to work on the business rather than in the business. Yeah. And then this year I made a vow that towards the end of last year, I made a vow that this winter I would really reintroduce myself to a lot of the events, to not only remind myself and kind of, re-deliver that passion and the excitement and the nerves I get just before every event. Yeah. But also to really remember and recognize the things that we do well at and the things that we can improve at. So now I'm definitely getting to go on a lot more. I certainly do pick and choose, which is awful. But I think for me, there are clients that I've worked with from day dot when we started like 8, 9 years ago, that this year has been really important for me to get back on those trips with our original clients. And those are the ones that I've chosen, because obviously time is precious, right? And important and valuable. So I've chosen to really go on them, reconnect and enjoy with them.
And I guess, but tell me if I'm incorrect here, but I guess when you started the business, it was the enjoyment and the love of running those sort of events, not so much the back office organising it all. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it was a lifestyle business for me back then, combining my knowledge, my passion for travel, for creating memories, but also really getting to enjoy it. I mean, I didn't have 2 children. Well, I felt pregnant, ironically, just as I started the business, so there was that. Right. But I didn't have 2 children. I didn't have the other responsibilities. We didn't have a team. So now it's finding that fine line and trying to maintain consistency, which no one's ever perfect at. And I'm certainly rebalancing in between running the events, maintaining those relationships that I've forged over the years with really wonderful people. Also managing, mentoring and supporting a team who are also simultaneously running these events, building these accounts. Now there's a lot to balance. So way back when, it was definitely lifestyle. Where I am right now, the ambition's kind of going up there.
Great. So did it kind of just evolve into and transition from lifestyle to being more of a business, if you like, or was there a point at which you went, actually, you know what, I'm going to turn this into a business that I'm going to scale?
I think that everybody's visions changes naturally as you hit the goals towards your vision, and then you go, right, what am I going to do next? I had goals and visions that I wanted to achieve, and I very quickly achieved them. When I see and I visualize, I take action to getting towards it. So sure, I think One of the biggest things for me was during COVID. At one point at the beginning, we were like, right, cool, rebrand. Let's take a backseat. Let's chill. Let's ride this out. We're not going to go virtual. That's not who we are. We're just going to really build on, from inside the business and come out stronger than ever. And then the UK, particularly UK-EU relations weren't that great. Yeah. So the delay of the return to travel certainly started to happen. And consequently, I then started to go, hang on a minute, is this going to return? Is this ever going to be? Are we ever going to get back to where we were? So I actually went for a job interview.
Oh, wow.
I went for a job interview, I swear, and I think this was the turning point. Sorry, it's a long-winded way of getting there.
Yeah.
I went for a job interview, and the guy was, I'll never forget, he basically said, every time you talk about what you do, your face lights up, you're passionate, your eyes light up. He's like, don't give up. And it was a really wonderful moment. I think it was a very pivotal moment where I realized then in 2021, actually, this is what I'm going to do, and we're going to take it to the next level. So here we are rebuilding and pushing forward to the next vision.
And what is that next vision then? Got to ask, you led me into it.
The next vision is, or has been, it's new, it's numerical base, is for the 20% increase from last year. Okay. So there's that. But we just want to continue. I want to continue going upwards. I want to continue to build our reputation with not only suppliers, with our clients. I want to, again, maintain consistency. I would like more repeat times. Like, we just want to get better and better and better. Hence why I've kind of taken the action to return to events, to really evaluate at the end of every event. And of course, we want to win more awards. But certainly the scale up journey is what we are really, really focused on. And obviously we launched the new part of the business as well, which is a big deal for me.
So tell us about that.
So CP conferencing is a CSR focus, or has a CSR focused agenda. Okay. Which is obviously very prominent and in alignment with a lot of, especially a lot of larger corporates, but those that are small SMEs as well, which just as equally as important. So first and foremost, because of the return post-COVID, large-scale conferencing or AGMs were the kind of the last thing to be revisited. They were mostly hybrid or virtual for quite a long time. So our incentive brand shot up very quickly, and we really put a lot of energy and marketing energy into that. And as a consequence, the conferencing side of what we did with Corporate Peaks sort of naturally dropped because we put a lot of focus into that to really rebuild. And then I was like, right, we need to kind of launch the new sector of the brand and dedicate it to conferencing. But I didn't just want to be another conferencing agency or another conferencing offspring of Corporate Peaks. I wanted to do something that was really relevant, really different. So we are actually the first of a kind. So you cannot do a conference or an AGM with us without an obligatory choice of one of two options. So either a financial donation to kind of offset, so carbon offset, or your travels, or to a charity that's relative to the destination of travel. Right. Or the second option is an activity that directly benefits the local community or the local destination. So for instance, one of our partners, you can go kayaking in Abu Dhabi and plant microbes. And then there's lots of charities you can work with, not only just far, long distance travel, locally, Western Europe as well. There's so many projects you can do. And we just wanted to give back. We wanted to give back as much as we were taking, rather than it just be a one-way street. So that's CP conferencing.
Brilliant. And how did that, so is that absolutely, that sounds unique. That sounds like something that I don't know of anybody else that's doing that. So what led you to think of that?
So kind of personal, but again, a lot of it equates back to COVID, the COVID era. And I keep mentioning it, but it's very relevant to our industry because we were just, boom, stop. The travel industry was, we didn't receive any funding. We didn't receive any kind of financial support. It was very difficult to navigate. And I think the reasoning that I led to CB conferencing was that because if I wasn't receiving any funding and we couldn't get any support or loans, then I thought of all these destinations and the people on the ground who genuinely relied on business tourism as such a huge provider of income for every country around the world.
Yeah,
I genuinely thought, what's happening to them? What's the knock-on effect of those people that rely on this business tourism and they don't have the support? And then it just kind of, my mind started going, and it was really inspired by seeing my personal effects and then imagining how bad it would be for those with minor shops and people in tourist destinations.
Yeah, and it feels like exactly at the right time at the moment. If there's criticisms against companies taking their teams abroad, it's always around the cost of the travel and the effect on the environment and all of those things, isn't it? And if you're helping them to still achieve all the great aims of what they're trying to do with those events, but you're helping them to offset some of those objections, then exactly. It sounds great.
Yeah.
Good. I guess there's probably a lot of people listening that might be thinking about, have we got the right business structure? We've got a couple of different strands to our business, and should we set up a separate business to focus on one of those and have a holding company set up? So take us through your thinking as to why you set it up as a group as opposed to having it all in one.
It was because I think the whole point is we, again, going back to we built up a really great reputation. We're really fun, we're really honest, we're real people. And in light of that, we have built up a really great client base who share a lot of the same values. And we wanted to ensure that we were relevant together. We didn't want us to be seen as a competitor versus CP conferencing. I mean, naturally, there'll always be. Within the office, we're all competitive, so sure, one day that will happen. But generally speaking, we just wanted to ensure that people knew that we were the same, cut from the same cloth, and the same real people, and the same real passion for it. But we also I needed to separate it because we had built such a strong incentive brand, and our brand is really fun, really energetic. And we wanted to ensure that people could see that this is also very serious. I mean, we're obviously very serious about what we do, but when it comes to conferencing and AGMs, it is a very different method of planning and execution. So we wanted to ensure that there was that formality that was seen, as well as the respect for giving back to every destination.
Yeah. So what have you learned about going through that exercise of splitting off into and having a group structure?
Costly, complicated, not for the faint-hearted, trying to navigate it all. I think consistency and balance are the two things that, like I said at the beginning, I'm really trying to understand at the moment. I used to think I was Superwoman. A lot of people that are entrepreneurs do. I mean, I've got 2 children under the age of 10. One of them's 2, one of them's 7 today.
Right.
We've got a team.
Congratulations.
We've got changes within, internal changes within the business. We're constantly trying to develop to get better and change our SOPs, our standard operational practices. And it's a lot. It is a lot. And it's not for the faint-hearted. There are times when I come home wanting to go, but then it's so rewarding simultaneously. There is a huge essence of pride. So, doing it all together is possible, but you've got to be ready, for sure. Right. Yeah. Or if not, you certainly will be a few months afterwards.
Do or die sort of thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
So what does the team look like at the moment then, or the 2 teams, I suppose, essentially? But what do the teams look like?
So we're still the same team. But everybody has different areas of expertise. We now have a small team. We actually grew very quickly, which was actually much to our detriment. We grew too quickly. So we've had, like every business, we've had a lot of learning curves, a lot of challenges along the way. We're still going through these challenges. They are making us stronger with every challenge, for sure. So we have got people from France. We've got people that speak multiple languages, myself included. We have got Inga, who's from Germany. So really multinational team. We've got somebody that's based in the UK that looks after specifically CP conferencing. It's such a diverse team, all very strong women, might I add. All very strong women, which I love and I learn from. I really do learn from. We all learn from each other, to be honest with you. And yeah, just such a varied background of expertise as well. And of course, the great thing about having different, authentic and individuals within a business and authentic opinions is that you get to have really good insight into certain destinations or preferences into certain destinations. So often if one of my accounts will come to me that we've been with for years, Holly, I'm really keen for this destination. What do you think? And I'll go, hang on a minute, let me speak to blah, 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 because I know that they absolutely love that place. It's quite nice to be able to do that, but we're a very, very close group.
Brilliant. So how big is your team now?
So now, including some freelancers, there are 12 on our team. So not enormous, but big enough.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Big enough for you, that's about the limit we talk about how one leader, one owner can control, if you like. That's about the limit of where you're getting to. So what's the next challenge for you in scaling the business, do you think, from the people perspective?
From a people's perspective, I think we have had a lot of changes within the past year for people that have exited the business. So for us moving forward, this next 6 months especially, it's just going to be about stabilizing, about stability, about regrouping. We changed the dynamic. We changed the dynamic. At one point, we had a lot of sales team members, and we've actually changed that dynamic. So there's only 2 or 3 sales members managing accounts, and then the rest is an incredible logistics team, administration team, venue finding. So we've changed it because it was, like I said earlier, we grew too quickly. We grew too quickly with too many sales team members, and we didn't hit the targets. And so it was difficult, really difficult from a financial and liability perspective to actually rebalance. So we've kind of I've listened to what everyone thinks within the team, and we've made that rejuggle. And as it stands right now, it's working really, really well. The only thing that's difficult at the moment is that, obviously it was not difficult, I love doing it, is the traveling, is a lot of the client meets. I mean, I am traveling a lot, but it's really nice to be back doing that. I love being in front of people. I love having conversations. So I've just gone back into this relationship building side, but I love it.
So what do you look for in terms of how do you keep control? You've got 12 people, you've got multiple projects going on, lots of clients to look after. How do you do the working on the business, but making sure you've still got control and visibility of things that are going on, keeping your finger on the pulse?
Yeah, so I had to make these changes like 6 months ago, well, 6 to 9 months ago, when we were going through all these sort of challenges, because everything was quite overwhelming when it happened really quickly. And so I was like, right, I need to set myself a focus. So I have specific days where I work on specific things, and I do not change from my schedule at all.
Great.
So Monday is generally the, I hate to say it, it's generally the dull side. It's the return, it's the reconciliation, it's reviewing of accounts, it's knowing what we need to do, it's setting intentions for the week ahead, which that's the fun part. Regrouping and catching up with everyone in the team. Tuesday is very much a sales focused day. So I work in the business. I'm kind of doing a lot of meets. I focus on the marketing aspect, and that's great.
Maybe do the occasional podcast.
The occasional podcast for the third time lucky of attempt. I also, Wednesday, because I live in France, my children don't go to school or childcare. So Wednesday, I actually don't work, which is really nice because it means I get to have one-on-one time, forced one-on-one time, but actually really enjoyable with the children, which the team all know and recognise and they're really respectful of, which is great. Yeah. Thursday, I work on the business. Okay. The Thursday is a special day for me because that's where I'm like, oh, and because I had a day off, I'm really creative. Right. Because I had a break, you've come away and then you're like, oh, okay, I want to do this and da-da-da. So that's a lot of that is goals setting, intentions, and where we're going to go next and what can we do next and reviewing any kind of proposals that we've had. And then Friday, very exciting, is focus on payroll and being available for the team before we go into the weekend, because a lot of our events happen over the weekend. They're either Saturday to Tuesday or Thursday to Sunday. So Friday's a good day for me to really catch up, team meetings, how's everyone doing, checking in, and then enjoy the weekend ahead.
and how often then are you actually away then working at the weekend as well?
Generally speaking, once or twice a month it has been this winter. Yeah. This winter has been a busy one because, again, I made that commitment. I wanted to go back to doing events. I wanted to be back on the ground again. So one or two. So it's either Thursday to Saturday or Thursday to Sunday, dependent on the style of trip. But then if I'm in London, generally I'll try and go just one night or 2 nights if I can.
Brilliant. And you mentioned that you're working with some really good, and I think you used the word feisty women as well. How do you get the most out of them? They've got ideas, they've got things that they can bring to the business. How do you make sure you encourage that and you facilitate that?
Well, I think first and foremost, everyone in the business believes in the why. They know the why. Right. They know why we do it. They believe in it themselves. Everyone's passionate about it. So that's when you have that. I mean, that's one of the most important parts of company culture, right? So when you have people that truly love their job, they know, they believe, they're there for a reason, right? So that's kind of the first hurdle. It's not as though I'm having to go in and be like, right, guys, da-da-da. We're all excited to be talking about trips to Oman, Abu Dhabi, Ibiza, the yachting, like that's a given. And I think that having that environment really creates a sense of closeness. And yes, I am the leader, and yes, I am the CEO, but I love listening to everyone within the office. Politics happen. We're people, we're humans, and trying to listen and navigate through that is really, really important. And I think I used to be very much like, no, this is my way, almost a little bit fixed in my mindset when I really started employing people. And I've really moved along and read really great books, Gung Ho, prime example, that have kind of led me to listening more and being like, okay, this is what you think works. Let's make that happen. Let's trial that. And really being open to the change.
Brilliant. Very good. So you've already hinted at it, but what is it that you love about what you do? You clearly are, as you say, your eyes light up. You have a big grin. You love it. What is it that you love most about what you do? I love the authenticity of each event. I love that every single event is completely different. Bizarrely, I love championing challenges. That was a bit of a mouthful. I love being able to resolve any challenges that arise. And there are a lot of challenges that arise in every event, whether it's a 6-person supplier retreat or incentive win to a 1,000-person conference. There are challenges. So having a plan A, B, C, D, and E is very essential. But
but also being able to overcome them. It's a really wonderful sense of feeling when you know that you're capable. And that's actually something that I really love to draw, because it reminds you of your ability. And I think that can go into any industry. It's very nice to be reminded that you're capable and to kind of reinstall those beliefs. And actually, that's one of the things I really do love about the job. Not that I love it when things go wrong, but I like being able to overcome it. And I think that's quite exciting. And of course, the travel. We see some incredible things. I've got some of the most incredible memories, for sure, from destinations I've been to all over the globe, as has the team. Yeah,
amazing. Absolutely. So what frustrates you then? What maybe don't you like so much?
I get really frustrated when people assume that we're a booking agent. So a lot of people will book through us or attempt to book through us. And then they will expect us to be really, really cheap, or knock off a huge amount. Or they'll take our work, because obviously once we get an RFP, request for proposal, we'll hand out a really nice proposal. That takes us time and effort because we believe in them, obviously, so time is money, of course.
Yeah.
And then they'll take those elements and they'll go and do it themselves.
Oh, right.
I find that really annoying. I mean, look, it's the nature of the beast, and we've definitely worked on really showcasing new clients our value. So we're definitely a lot more upfront from the get-go. This is who we are. We are a fully hosted service. We provide an on-site coordinator to, non-stop, to give you, pretty much provide for all of your needs on site and ensure everything goes smoothly. But a lot of people still are always going to try and do that. And that frustrates me, because I think we're quite honest to what we do. And often you expect the same, but it's not always returned.
Yeah.
So that frustrates me.
Good. So what's I can imagine that's very frustrating. I can imagine you talked a little bit before about your vision. What's the legacy? Where do you want to take the business? What do you want to leave with it?
I think that's going to change every single year. I think I would love to grow it at a point where it can really comfortably run without me being so involved in it. But then, having said that, I also love being in it. So right now, I'm really enjoying focusing on the vision on an annual basis. The real long term, I don't think I'd ever want to sell the business at the moment. The moment, things change, of course. But I really love what I do. And I just think that continually creating and paving this way and showcasing our passion and our skill set is just really, really enjoyable. And I think it's a really special thing when you're passionate about what you do and you love what you do. And right now I'm at that stage. So I'm just going to continue being in that.
Great. Good. Well, I'm sitting here and I wonder if one or two of our listeners might be thinking as well, that sounds like a wonderful business to be running. So, going on all of those trips and things, but great. So I've really enjoyed talking with you, Holly. It's been fantastic. Are you all right for one or two quick fire questions before we close?
Of course, yeah.
Great. So if you could go back to the younger Holly, what advice would you give yourself?
To the younger Holly, I often say this, but buckle up. Buckle up, because it does get bumpy, but you've definitely got it. You've definitely got this.
Excellent.
I think also I'd have to say learning to accept other people's perspectives as well is something I wish I'd learned earlier. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. I concur with that. That's one for me as well. You mentioned Gung Ho. Are there any other books or learning resources that you'd like to highlight?
I don't read too many work-focused books because I spend a lot of my time in my work, and I have some wonderful mentors around me. So it's only fictional.
Okay. Very good. What's the latest fictional book you've read then?
Well, it's my favourite. I keep rereading it. It's called The Night Circus.
Okay.
And it's wonderful. It's a nice escape.
All right, very good. Are you an apps person? Do you have bits of technology, apps? Any favourite bits of tech?
Well, I mean, I love TikTok because I've got my TikTok account and it makes me laugh, but I don't have Instagram. We've got a work one, but I purposely don't have an Instagram. I find tech a difficult one because it's very relevant and very important in this day and age. But I also find that particularly for women, role models can be misconstrued. So I think it's really important to try and have one foot in reality and one foot in that tech sector. For me personally, I know it doesn't apply to everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, good. And who's had the most influence on you, would you say, as a business leader?
Susie Ma from Tropics Skincare.
All right. And what is it about her that's has influenced you?
A similar passion, belief, and dedication that grew organically, and then, they exploded. They've got a phenomenal product. But I love the growth. I love I really admire her. I'd love to meet her.
Fantastic. And the last one, what's your most successful way of finding new clients?
Always face to face, because I tend not to go out when I'm out networking. A lot of people probably like this. I never really talk about what I do for quite a long while. And also because we respect all of our clients that work with us. So we don't divulge our clients that we work with. We work on a no-name basis, which isn't common for our industry. But I face-to-face for me always, because I love people. I love learning about people. And get me in a room with someone, and then I'll learn about them, and then I'll be able to sell them a trip.
Brilliant. Well, maybe you'll sell me one in a minute. Excellent. No, it's been absolutely fantastic, Holly. Really, really enjoyed talking with you. So if people would like to get hold of you or find out more about Corporate Peaks, what's the best way for them to do that?
Either give us a follow on LinkedIn and a shout out on LinkedIn, but also send me a direct email. Easy.
Fantastic. And can we put your email address in the show notes?
Absolutely. Yeah, please do.
All right, brilliant. Well, we'll do that. So, Holly, thank you very much indeed for being my guest on ScaleUp Radio today.
Thank you. The pleasure's all mine. Thanks, Emil.
I hope you enjoyed that discussion, and if you're building and scaling your own business, you might well be interested in our book, The Entrepreneurial ScaleUp System. And it's exactly what it says on the tin. It's a practical handbook around scaling a business in a structured way. And you can order a copy on all your favorite online retailers, including an audio version, or you can find it and other supporting resources on our website, www.esusgroup.co.uk. That's esusgroup.co.uk, which is esusgroup.co.uk.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.